Hi, it's Shaun Conaway with Boldly Now. I have the delightful pleasure of having a conversation with Sai Ma. Sai Ma is a spiritual teacher with followings in both Europe, India, and North America. Sai Ma, welcome to Boldly Now. Hello, Winners Live. This is Shaun Conaway with Boldly Now. I have the great honor of introducing you to Her Holiness Jagadguru Sai Ma Lakshmi Devi Mishra. She's a world-renowned spiritual master, healer, and humanitarian. Sai Ma has a unique fusion of Eastern and Western spiritual traditions with Western therapeutic knowledge and energy mastery. She's really a unique teacher for this age. I think you're going to enjoy the conversation. Sai Ma, welcome to the show.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Ma, can you just tell us, everybody's feeling a lot of turmoil right now. Their lives are really disrupted. Maybe their economics or their ability to make money or have money is disrupted. They have fear for their health. Just tell us a little bit about this time. What has arrived here for us? What are the things we need to be looking for? And what are some of the maybe hopeful or opportunities for us to grow in this moment?
Excellent. I appreciate the word opportunities. Most people use the word only challenge, which goes with a negative energy with it. Yes, it's a fabulous opportunity for us all to grow. This is a moment of growth. Whether we are 70 years old, 90 years old, or 15, 7, 10, this is a moment of growth. Growth on every level of our humanness. Spirituality as well. Nevertheless, the humanness is the key. It's important for us in these days to know how we feel. Our feeling is going to really take over. We do not wish to be overwhelmed by the feelings. We wish to be centered in our being, meaning the wholeness of us. The physicality is going to change from now to the coming 100 years, if I can say so. The human that we are today is not going to be the same human in 100 years from now. Many children are taking birth right now. They have a different consciousness. They have a different DNA. They come with a certain knowledge already active in them. Many great beings are taking birth. Many great saints, many great masters are taking birth right now. Why? There is before 2012 and after. Of course, many of you celebrated or in fear or in high joy about 2000. But the key happens in 2012. A shift of paradigm happened. This shift has to do with the earth itself, herself, as well as what happens in the consciousness of humanity. This shift has to do with the magnetic field of the planet, as well as the individual field of each one of us. The axis of the planet shifted. Many things shifted in the invisible for most human. The fact that I could see and I can see, this was the real moment of chaos, not now actually. The chaos, the disruptive, everything shifted and clicked like this. If it was imbalance, it moved into that place and it did this at that time. So there is a phenomenal, from that place, a phenomenal shift is going on from an old paradigm to a new. Any questions as such? Because I could go on for hours on these topics.
Well, I think I really like the framing of this as a kind of a longer term experience from 2012. One of the things that I think people have we've become very constrained in the amount of time that we can consider. For some people it's days, for other people it's even hours that they can hold in their mind in terms of time. And so, this time of pandemic is a time for people. And by broadening it out and saying, actually, it's just a moment in a longer stretch of time where much bigger things are going on, I think it's really helpful for people to expand their consciousness in terms of the amount of time that they're holding.
Well, the first thing about time, realize that time is no more 24 hours. This is the first thing we have to realize. Everybody will say, oh, I have that much to do, and they get stressed. No, calm down. This is normal. We are moving on this planet, we're moving beyond space and time, consciousness-wise. The planet is rising in a different dimension, in a different frequency. The planet is being enlightened right now. So naturally, like a baby moving and becoming an adult, how much transition is there? And transformation and shifting. This is what's happening to the earth more and more. And this time, it is an unprecedented time. It is. Thus, unprecedented opportunities for all of us to look within us. This is a moment to start becoming a master of your cognitive understanding. Start to master that place. Then master the emotions. Then master the physical. I have a lot to say on the physicality of what's happening. Now, chaos will always exist as long as human consciousness is where it is today. The planet, the energy, everything will shift when humanity shifts. If you ask me, how long will it take? I will tell you, depending how humanity shifts. How humanity change, what scale of time, if time is. Great. Most people live on a memory system. All their knowing goes with what they've known in the past. Known in the past means memory. It's going beyond this right now. So please ask me questions, and so I don't generalize too much.
Well, and I'm just curious, that you're like, my first thing that came to mind is there some simple practice that we can be doing right now?
Correct.
To help us in this?
Yes. The instant practice is your breath. This breath is going to take everybody back to a centeredness, to an alignment with all that is. Most people have been teaching this for maybe 35 years. Most people are not aware of the breath. The breath is going to show you that this is the breath of life. This is the breath of consciousness. This is the breath of longevity. This is the breath of immortality. The key here is just stop everything for just 2 seconds. 3 seconds, 5 seconds, if you wish, many times in your day. This one breath does everything, at least for me. It goes beyond my physicality, beyond my state of mind, beyond, it expands everything. And it's like the moment you give that exhale, there's a new moment, there's a new life, there's a new momentum, there's a new of everything. It's amazing what one breath does. And in the breath, it's not so much the inhale which is important, it's the exhale. May I go into a place of DNA with you at that moment? What's going to happen, human is going to be able to release more and more. That's why breath is extremely important. I'm not speaking of exercising. I'm speaking just a breath. Because what we will need for your DNA to release the beauty that's coming for the next era is the relaxation of the tissue, of the muscles, of the system, the whole system. Meaning the way you eat will have to change. The way you speak will have to change. The way you walk will have to change. The way you think. Yesterday, I had a phenomenal interview, and if I had to give a title to that interview, it would be Rethink Enlightenment. We are in that crossroad where all our brothers and sisters from all the galaxies and universes are available for us, and we can connect. To be able to connect, we have to stop thinking linear logic every now and then in our day. Before we rest the body, think of the logic, like the rigidity that we have come with our thoughts. Shift gear and maybe allow yourself with breath to move in a place of no thoughts, nearly no mind. So we can capture the majestic energy that's coming to us. And I address mostly to those who are young adults. Young adults has a perception due to their time they took birth, due to their DNA, due to the, how will I say this in English, malleability of the power that they hold for the next step in the transformation and transition on this planet. The young adult today has something that my generation doesn't have. We have to work to make it happen. They understand the mind in a very different way. There may be the step between them and those who are taking birth, who are 7 years old, 10 years old. Anybody who has a child of 3 years old or 5 years old today can tell you, wow, this is different than what we have seen. This is different than what has been known. Why? Because their consciousness is different, because their DNA is different. So their cellular structure is different. Their Akashic remembrance is different. They don't have the baggage that those of my generation, where we have to meditate from 2, 3 o'clock in the morning for years to be where we are today. They have a lightness in their field. I would love sometime to speak only to a group who are 30 years old, 25 years old, because they will understand things differently. They drift differently. They drift faster in another world. Yes, they may take some herbs or drugs, whatever. They're attracted to that also because it's part of their consciousness. To be in a place where there's a vastness, where they can think big, they can create big, because they are more aware of the state of creators that they are comparing to generation of 70 years. That makes sense to you?
Yes, and for that generation, a lot of them are feeling like this urgency to do something, to
Correct.
get into the world.
Correct.
What advice can you give them and help them to shape?
Go for it. Go for it. Find people like myself or other people who can sponsor you and support you and mentor you and give you the juice to continue. Because it could be that in the family they think you're crazy, but you're not. I can tell you you're not. Because I can read brains, I can read minds, I can read energy at a distance. It's amazing what can be done now. And it could be, and I'm telling you one thing, there will be more people of 30 years old who generates more funds to create a green planet, to create a company with cotton instead of with synthetic, to create a company out of fuels, of petrols, of oils. Fantastic, because they carry this blueprint. We are moving now into a place of original blueprint in every single human. And they are more advanced, because those of my generation are even older, of 90 years. I know many, many great masters who are 90 or more, 100 and something years. They have prepared me for what's happening now. They have, and we are preparing those who are 30 to move into their dreams, to be hungry about their dreams, to really go for it, to dream big, to know that I understand them.
Yeah.
I understand them. When they say to me, and I know many, when they say to me, that's what I want to do, I say, yes. Go there. Listen to your intuition. Trust your intuition. Do not allow anybody to tell you what you're thinking is bad. Trust your intuition. Trust your emotions. Trust your feelings. And take it from your heart, because you, who are the millennials, we call, you live with your heart. There's a spiral, a golden spiral between your heart and your brain. Use both. Merge both, and you will be amazed of your creativity. And you have the power to grab energy from everywhere, and you will attract. You will attract the law of resonance. You will be in the law of resonance. You'll exist in it. You'll exist in the law of attraction, and you will attract the right people who will fund your project, who will look at your project, who will take you into a different place within you, where you will learn discernment. That may not be going the way I wish it. This is the idea I like to bloom into and flourish and move into what I call self-education industry. That's what I'm ready to build, a self-education industry. Meaning that academy is not going to serve you, young adults. Academic education will not serve you. I can say this openly. Come to people like me or others. We are self-education knowledge industry into action for you to get result and move with a certainty in you. Teach you certainty. Teach you what we know you carry from within you, that blueprint where you expand in a world where most people don't understand you. Do not give up. Please do not give up. I'm here for you. Whether you've taken drugs, whether you've done whatever you've done, it doesn't matter to me. I don't judge you. I love you the way you are. I welcome you in my life, in my heart, the way you are. And from there, we build what you wish to see coming out of your creativity source. Because there is a creative source where you can tap into with your consciousness. And you become the one that you know you can be today.
Well, thank you, Ma. That's beautifully said, especially for this audience. I have one last topic that just out of what you just said occurred to me. You talked about the generation that trained you, and then you're here and you're ready for the next generation. What do you see as we look out across 5 or 10 generations into the future? Where is humanity evolving towards?
Beautiful question. And rich, very rich. If I have to give a theme, a title to that theme, it will be discovery. Human nature is going to discover itself. It's going to start with device. All kind of device are going to come on to start to pops out now, from magnetic material to more subtle. You know, if I would have said to my parents one day, there will be no more, I was a little girl, there'll be no more movies, black and white movies. They would have said to me, then what will there be? Because the mind of that generation could not fathom what we are doing today, online and with all the vibrancy of colors that we can imagine. This is what I'm speaking of. I'm going far. I'm going to say like medicine. If I tell you with AI or animated intelligence, what I call it like this, is going to be able to know a body more than a doctor. Maybe that's shocking what I'm saying, but that's the future of tomorrow, real tomorrow, coming soon. All kind of device will exist for healing. At a point, people will be in such a exalted place that their healing will happen because they are so happy they may not have to go through surgery. They may not have to go through a transplant. They may not have to even go to a hospital, because we will be able to speak to a doctor, but the software will be healing the person. Together with this, when a human change at that level, their frequency rise. The moment you vibrate to a higher place, the bugs of disease will not be able to enter your field, because your field is going to increase due to the magnetic field of the planet. The more the consciousness rise, the less people will be sick. So that's a big thing. And this in the coming 5 years. The psychology is going to shift. People will think more strategically, with a purpose. People will start to say, and I'm speaking mostly to those who are 30 years old, what's my purpose? I feel I have a purpose. And people say that to me, Ma, I feel I have a purpose. I don't know where it is. I will take them in a place of stillness. I will support them energetically, and something will come. Many people will say, I feel I'm a healer. I feel I want to heal the earth. They will travel around the world and go in certain vortex and do some energy work of their own. They'll create it. Creativity from source is going to take over in the coming 25 years. At a point, our cellular structure will be totally different. Our quantum DNA holds the creativity from source. We are going to create out of a thought something majestic. We're coming to an end of the old paradigm with wars, with ego, with all that we've seen in politics, in wherever. All this is coming to an end. For the younger generation to take over, you're going to see genuine kids step into their genuineness from within without taking any courses. And in 50, 100 years from now, those who will take birth, they may walk in 2 minutes. Humans will have to prepare their thoughts to realize that humanity is shifting to a totally different human. And I can go further with you here to say that we will be living in our light body. We will be breatharian. We will live with what I call the quantum body, a body that cannot be touched by anything of lower frequency. And there will be a time beyond 100 years where there'll be a translucid physicality, where all the organs are so perfectly well. I could go on, but I'm not going to go on. I'd like you to ask me something else if you wish.
I'm just curious, like one last thought for people right now, like something that'll help us see the joy in this moment, and have some capacity to distill some of the fear and anxiety. So what can you leave our audience with that gives them that sense of peacefulness?
If you live in the past, you only know memory of what you have experienced. This creates all the words you just said. I never experienced this, but I hear it from many people.
Yeah.
If you live in the future, you are going to be completely off. No certainty, no economic, all of it. Now, when you step into the present with that breath I spoke earlier, stay in it, you will naturally expand. And you're going to transform your life by practicing this. Practice it 100 times a day, just no matter what you're doing. You're walking, stop a moment. You are cooking, stop a moment. You're going to shift yourself. This is the new healing for planet Earth. Human is going to heal themselves without any healer, without going anywhere, with the breath. It's an awareness. So please become more and more aware in what state you are in and shift it yourself with the breath. So awareness first and then action. And you're going to succeed. I tell you, you're going to succeed. Master your emotions, master your feelings, master your physicality, but with this awareness. Become more and more mindful. Walk with awareness and slow down. The virus is here for humanity to slow down, to go inward and shift gear. That's simple. Are you satisfied with this? I can give other.
Beautiful, Ma. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Our audience really needs to hear your message right now. It's a healing tonic, so thank you. What
I would like to ask is to speak on a moment on emotional.
Sure.
Why your emotional world or body or field is most of the time like this, because there's a state of panic, of chaos. Because there's pain, which I acknowledge. Because there's suffering, which I acknowledge. Start by forgiveness. Start by forgiving whoever has ever hurt you. In the way they hurt you, they were calling on you, love me, give me love. But they couldn't say the word love because they didn't trust that anymore. Please forgive them. And if you have hurt anybody, all of us, before we reach a certain state of awareness and consciousness or enlightenment, we have hurt somebody. Be so humble. Let us go in our heart and ask the person quantumly. You don't have to speak to the person, just quantumly. Ask for forgiveness. Be so humble. Be so much in your heart that you ask for forgiveness. And you say to the person, I also forgive you. And then forgive yourself. This Trinity, these 3 steps will change your life. And when you leave this planet, you will not have the burden of regrets or resentment or anger or anything else to carry for the next step in your experience of life. The whole thing, it's a fractal. You exist in multidimensional. You're a multidimensional being. So start here now today to free yourself, like a load of you that. And you can also give it to me. Ma, Saima, any way you wish to call me, I give you my pain. I give you my suffering. Just give it 100%. Thank you. With great, great love, with great gratitude, with divine blessings, I welcome you all in my heart and blossom. I wish you the blessings of blossoming.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much. We appreciate you today. I look forward to our next chance to meet again.
Thank you for your work to serve all of us.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Have a wonderful day and many blessings on you.
Thank you so much.